to GamePlan 2024, where coaching dreams become reality. We've assembled a squad of awe-inspiring speakers to fuel your coaching business with top-tier strategies and, of course, boundless inspiration. Just like a coach who fine-tunes a winning strategy, I've created this event to equip you with game-changing insights, resources, and that all-important dose of encouragement. What our extraordinary guests have achieved show what is possible for you too. Now let's talk action. Remember, implementation beats information any day. So here's your challenge. Uncover one takeaway you're excited to put into play, and then come into the group. Let us know what it is, the date you want to have it completed by, and let teamwork and accountability propel you to victory. So let's get ready to up-level your coaching game. Today, I have with me the beautiful Malorie Tadimi. Hey, Malorie, how are you doing?
Amazing. How are you doing, Liz?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. I love what we're going to talk about today because I think it's a really vital piece to everybody's puzzle, and that's how to use a simple funnel to create high-ticket clients. My cat's decided to be annoying today. Alrighty, so before we get started, let me tell everybody a little bit more about you. So Malorie Tadimi turns coaches, experts, consultants, and thought leaders into millionaires through her clients online method. Malorie struggled to get clients because she had no audience, no followers, and no one knew who she was. Where everybody starts, by the way. Out of desperation and a need to bring new clients in the door, she decided to do the opposite of what she was doing. She created her clients online method that took her income from 9K months to 70,000 a month in less than 30 days. So she's clearly a unique unicorn, because that's not everybody. Using this method, she was then able to get her new clients to get those incredible results as well. She loved working with them so much that she scaled to 200K a month within just 1 year. She enjoys creating long-lasting relationships with her clients, and many stay with her for years. Oh, Malorie, that is an exciting wee bio you've got. So I can't wait to hear more about you. So let's start there. Why don't you tell us all a little bit more about you, your story, and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. So I was a lifelong coach. I didn't know it, never got paid for it. And I was the girl that everyone always came to for advice. And I didn't realize that was actually an industry that you could build a business around.
Yes.
In 2012, I was trying to figure out how to leave my corporate job. I was doing management consulting. I had gone to business school, really boring stuff. And I was searching around on the internet, and I saw that this thing called coaching is getting really popular, and I had never even heard of it other than like sports. And I kept reading about it, and I was like, whoa, I think I could do that. That's like teaching on the internet. I could teach on the internet. And that's where it all started. I just started out teaching what I knew, which was just business stuff, because I was pretty boring and like an everyday person. Didn't feel like I had anything interesting about me. Had rather low self-confidence, didn't feel worthy, didn't understand that people would actually want to pay me online if I wasn't at a job. And as I slowly started to lean into what this industry kind of is, and I saw how other people are getting paid so much and what they were doing, I was like, wait a minute, I'm no different than them. I'm no different than that guy sitting on the Ferrari that he just rented with the girl in the bikini. I was like, I'm smarter than him. Maybe I could do this. So that's where I started to realize, like, hey there, if this dude says that he's worthy of this, I'm pretty sure I most certainly am. So that's where I started to get out of my own way. I learned how to use ads, and that is how my revenue jumped overnight. That is how I created the unicorn success, right?
Yeah.
Nothing was working for me before I did that. Nothing, like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, just it can happen, but like there's going to be like a trigger behind it to create that kind of success. And for me, that was turning on my ads, but like doing the right thing after I turn them on.
Yes.
Because when you turn ads on, you can obviously lose a lot of money, right? So that was the years of preparation beforehand of me trying to learn this stuff. And I finally worked up enough nerve to turn the darn things on, and it happened.
Mm. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
really like that you stressed that, because I find that, yeah, we're
Yeah.
told get on ads, get on Facebook, Google, whatever it is, the platform that you're going to.
Hmm.
But if you haven't got your sales mechanism working, you can end up spending quite a lot of money and not get the results for it. So clearly everything for you actually fell into a plan and it worked out very beautifully. So you managed to bring more traffic
Yeah.
into your world and convert them. So yeah, that is,
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, no one knew me. Like, how am I expecting to
yeah.
grow something so big? I'm just blaming myself. Nobody wants to work with me, down on myself. And that wasn't true. It just felt like no one wanted to work with me because they didn't even know I existed.
Yeah, you need no traffic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what we're going to break down is I know that you use funnels quite extensively and that you're using ads to bring them to a funnel. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to talk into the power of ads, or do you want to talk about how we can build out a simple funnel? Which would because look, everybody knows we can cover it all, but we're trying to be a little
Yeah.
more narrow and specific. So that
Sure.
we
How
can
much time do we have, Liz?
yeah. Well, we only
How
have
much
20,
time?
30 minutes. So
20 minutes.
if we were to break down
Okay.
ads and funnels, we could be here for a while.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's get really simple. Ads don't matter and funnels don't matter. You know what matters? Having something to go behind it,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
let's talk about like a unique mechanism. And this is where I think a lot of people fail. Because if you don't have your unique mechanism, you don't have your process that makes you different and stand out from everyone else, that's going to be the unique, desirable, specific outcome, then no ad is going to scale you and no funnel is going to scale you. It's not going to convert.
Mm.
So I think we start there,
Sure.
right?
So break that
So,
down. So how did you know what you were unique and different? Given from what I'm hearing, you didn't even know you were a coach.
and I kind of still don't think I'm a coach. And this has been since 2012.
Yeah.
So we're 11 years in. I think I am very good at business, but I don't know. I don't know if I resonate with coach, but I know that people need to call me one because they don't know what else to call me. And that's like, people need to understand like what to call you, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like,
I'm
I
going
know a
to
lot about business
I'm going to
and
interrupt you
strategy.
because I think you have hit the nail on the head. There are coaches who actually have very strong corporate backgrounds, and like you've said,
Yeah.
business school. You actually have a
Yeah.
lot more than just a coaching certification. I'm in your boat, 30 plus years, program manager, C-level suite, all of the good things, right? But in the online industry, we have to find a name to call ourselves. I wanted to highlight that because I do think that when we are looking for our business coaches, as opposed to coaches in some of the other areas, having that background is actually quite important as well. Understanding how businesses operate, how they work, what the process flows are, systems, automation. So yeah, I just wanted to jump in because typically I have a lot of coaches, but not a lot of people with a strong business background. So yeah, I want to explain that.
Yeah. Well, that's really, that is a nice point to explain. But it also left me having an identity crisis for a very long time. Because online, they just want to label you as something, which is fine. You guys can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm not mad. I still love you. Whatever. I don't care. Call me coach, call me Malorie, call me whatever. But like the point is, people need to understand what they're consuming and what they're purchasing, right? We need to fit into a category. It is what it is, what it is, what it is. So the category I chose to fit into is business coaching, right? So whenever I offer programs or courses or whatever, it falls under the category of coaching. So great. Malorie can do business coaching. Fantastic. Well, what is she actually an expert in? That was the problem. Jack of all trades, master of none. That is business school. That is corporate. That is management consulting, right? Yeah. We are forced to do a little bit of everything depending on the role that we're hired into at the time under the HR category, right?
100.
But we can grow and flex in the organization any way we want to.
Yeah.
So that was a big problem for me. And as I was trying to figure that out for quite a while, what I realized, what was very interesting to me was marketing. So I became this like really big marketing nerd, consuming everything I could find about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I realized, oh, hey, there's probably other people like me that I can teach this marketing stuff to that don't know it. But I kind of like teaching this stuff because I can track data. It's a little technical, like I can see things. I liked it.
Yeah.
So that's where I started teaching marketing stuff. And that's how I actually found what I'm an expert in, right? So when I created my unique mechanism, it was about marketing, like systems like ads and funnels. And then like, what are you enrolling people into? The marketing and the systems behind it. So that's how I found my little space in this world. But I think that's where a lot of people get confused, where they feel like they don't have that specialty.
And I love how you broke that down because, I have a little saying, you have to learn to earn to return.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because, and I think being a management consultant is a very good example. I was one too. Then I went contracting because you have to be a jack of all trades. You have to be ready to be thrown into a situation, an environment, a culture that you actually have no true background in and swim. There is no place for failure in those roles. Yeah. And so I love that you understood that, and then you deep dived into figuring out that, for me, one of the most important skills that a coach or somebody building a business online needs to have, which is marketing and the ability to sell, which is marketing and sales go hand in hand. And so why don't you tell us a little bit more about how you unpacked that and how that worked for you when you were learning it?
So when I was learning it, I was using myself. Like I was my own guinea pig.
Yes.
Right. So I would start to, oh, sorry. My headphones are like going crazy here. But yeah, so I would learn something and I would go test it out on myself and I would be like, oh, that worked, or oh, that did not work. And I could see the feedback loop, I think, was the most important part to it, right? So if I could see the feedback, I could adjust what I was doing. And that's why I tended to, I think, start to like the ads and get into it, because I could see the feedback and the data, and that would tell me if what I was doing was working or wasn't working. And that's where I started to figure things out. So I tested on myself a lot. Yeah.
I love that, because I think we can't stress that enough as well, that it is a feedback loop. You are looking for data. You're looking for proof that what you are working is either landing or not. And if at the beginning it's on yourself, brilliant. But eventually you went further than that, right? Yeah. You found a winning formula and tested it. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, you're searching, you're trying different things. The way I describe it is there's like a wall in front of us. And if we just hit the wall with our head enough times in like a slightly different angle each time, we might just find the one time that something creates a better result than all the other times, right? And that's what I found. And I was like, there's really something to this. Why is it when I did this, it went like this, but then when I did this other thing, wah, 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 right? And I was like, this is very, very, very interesting. And it was validating too, because I learned that I wasn't necessarily the problem and people did want to work with me, but it was just finding that right connection point. And then of course, as you mentioned earlier, traffic, yes, but having the right messaging, having the right traffic, having the right funnel set up, and also the right time. What are people looking for in that particular year or that time of year? What's going on with technology? What's going on with the world? What's going on with the market? This online business coaching market is starting to mature, and that's quite interesting. When I popped in, it was not close to maturing at all. I started in 2012, right? So now things are quite different, and we get to keep adjusting as the businesses, move along that maturity curve and
Yeah.
new
And I think,
systems and processes.
yeah.
But yeah.
And I think that is also another valid point to think about for those who are coming into the business coaching, which is, to me, is just helping people make money. That's my simplest way of describing the difference. The reality is it has matured. It is no longer the Wild West. You can't just get away with half-assing it. And that's what we could do way back in the day. That's what we all did. But you can't do it anymore. You have to up-level yourself, and you have to be prepared to come into a mature market. But it doesn't mean you can't do it, because at the end of the day, I always say this, how many consultants are there? How many project managers are there? How many lawyers are there? Accountants? There's room for everybody, but just know that it is a maturing space. So you will need to be coming in at a higher level than 2012 for you, 2002 for me. Yeah, so that's the reality. Now, here's a question I've got for you. What type of ads platform did you focus on first? Did you go one at a time, or did you go multi? Because I'd love for you to talk into that as well, your approach.
Just Facebook, and that was right when Facebook was getting into Instagram, acquiring Instagram and whatnot. So it was just Facebook, and then the Instagram availability came up where they added it where you can now put an ad out at the same time. It can go to Facebook or it can go to Instagram. It was magical. Right. So just Facebook. That's it. Like, keep it simple. I find YouTube is way, 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 way more complicated and a great way to expand. But when you're getting started, Meta, as it is known now, is a great place to start, because we can keep it super simple and let the algorithm do its job to get you in front of the right people. And it's not just business coaching that's maturing. Health coaching is maturing. Relationship coaching is maturing. It's like, it's nuts how it's changed. It really is. So if you guys are coming in now, I think it's kind of cool, because you get to do it from the right way from the beginning. And there's now like structured ways to do things, where before, when we were coming in, no one was here to tell us what to do. It was horrible.
Yeah. Well, and also and I think this is why the barrier to entry is so easier, because there is so much brilliant software out there that is going to do a lot of the work and the heavy lifting for you, and understanding systems and processes. I think there's a wealth of information out there that wasn't out there previously. Okay, so we've covered off ads at a very, very high level. And now what I want to deep dive into is your funnel system. Now, I know you have a specific funnel, but why don't you talk people through the steps of a funnel that you have used that it does convert pretty well, just the high level of it, not the nitty gritty, if that's okay.
Yeah. So like, at the very, very high level, first of all, you have to make a decision if you're going to do ads or you're going to do organic. You're allowed to do both, but if you're not doing ads, you better decide.
Yes.
If you're doing ads, you're allowed to do organic.
I have a saying, fast, good, and slow, you can pick two. So if you want it fast,
exactly.
And you want it good, you want fast, so there's things like that. And I think once you mastered what you're selling and how you're selling it, and you can sell it, then I think ads have to come into play. I totally agree. If you're planning to scale up into the 6, 7, 8 figures, 100% can't do it organically.
The hilarious part was I wasn't selling it organically. It wasn't selling because I had nobody to sell it to.
Yeah, you're an exception. You should have worked with me. I could have got you an audience to begin with, to play with. But yeah, okay, great. So
but if you can't find,
you just knew that what you had would sell.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't. And that's the thing. That's when I say I was literally hitting my head against the wall at all different angles. I literally was, because I felt like I could help people, but who am I going to sell it to?
Oh, of course, but you started when it was cheap in the Facebook ads world. It's a bit more expensive now. Yeah. Now I get it. Okay, so we've got our ad out there. We're bringing traffic into your system, into your funnel. I'm assuming you had. Let's start there. So did you just do take over, because I don't want to put words in your mouth. I realized, oops, I'm putting words in your mouth.
No, no. So video has kind of always been popular, whether it's like a webinar, a video sales letter, maybe
Yes.
you're doing like a product launch formula, Jeff Walker style, whatever. Video has always been really big. So for me, I've always just driven an ad to a video, and I've done all different types of videos, everything from short to long, to webinar with my face, webinar without my face, whatever. I've done them all, and to a phone call. Because at the end of the day, if you can have just one high ticket offer that's scalable, like group coaching maybe, or if you do retreats or whatever, one-on-one is not exactly scalable. But if you just have one high ticket offer that's scalable, the world is your oyster, literally. And that's what it is. Can you get an ad that gets someone on the phone where you can talk to them and you put them in a scalable offer? That's what it's all about. One high ticket offer, that's all you need, and you can scale that to $1 million a month. You don't need anything else.
Totally. So tell me more about
that's it.
Right, so we've got the ad out there. You're using possibly a short form video or a link into a webinar, whatever it is. And then you're bringing them. Are you bringing everybody to a call, or are you bringing people to a sales page?
No. So if you're selling high ticket, you want to bring them to a phone call. So I kind of see it as anything 3,000 US dollars or above, phone call, right? And that's really important. At least I've seen in my data, maybe you've seen differently in yours, we see an extreme conversion decrease when we're sending them directly to a checkout page, and we're at a price point of 3,000 US dollars or above.
Yeah.
Perhaps you've seen differently, but that's just kind of like my world. So a phone call is easier too for beginners. I work with a lot of beginners, and you have to be very, 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 very sharp with your marketing to make a funnel that's going directly to a checkout page, convert at the numbers you need it to be profitable. So if you're a beginner, the easiest thing you can do is just get people onto a phone call with you so you can see if you can actually help them or not and give them some guidance. You can't help everyone, but perhaps you can give them some resources if it doesn't work or whatever. But if they are a good fit for you, then you can see, oh, they're great for my group program, or, ooh, they might be a great one-on-one client. And you can offer them that instead, right? If it's flexible, if you're on the phone. So that's the funnel. Even today, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. And ads have actually gotten cheaper. You just don't know how to run them if you think ads are more expensive. That's the other thing too. A lot of people are teaching ads from like 2015, 2016, 2017 era, and the way that everyone was teaching it then. But the algorithm made a big change in 2018. So if you're teaching what has happened after 2018, then, or whoever you're learning from, then you're in a good place. But a lot of times, people even teaching now had mentors that don't understand how good the algorithm changed after 2018. It behaves quite differently, and they're not expensive. They're really not. It's just, if you're running it with the interests that haven't even been updated in 5 years, you guys, I don't know if anyone knows, but like interest groups, they get their data from third parties on Facebook ads. And that algorithm piece hasn't been updated in 5 years. And about 1/3 of those are accurate. And in an interest group, it's a lot of people that aren't interested in it, but they got tagged interested in it because maybe they were talking about that thing. They could be like, I hate going to the gym, but then that picks up, they use the word gym. And now they think that they're interested in exercise. And you're paying to be in those interest groups, right? So if, I don't know, if someone out there has heard ads have gotten expensive or has experienced that themselves, then they're probably just running it the wrong way and before it changed.
I love that you're saying that, because everybody has an opinion. My ads and my experience are that I could get more leads cheaper in the past than I do now, and my ads manager does use the latest tech, but I guess it just depends upon how we're using it, how specific and narrowed down we're getting. And absolutely, software is software is software. You may have figured out a really cool, cheap way to keep running ads insofar as comparison pricing. And geez, I'm going to talk to you offline about that, because if I don't need to pay as much, I don't want to pay as much. But it's brilliant, and I think that it's an awesome addition. But for me, Malorie, I think what you said, and I think if I could encourage everybody to really understand what she said, her brick wall analogy is the gold. The fact that you didn't hit the wall in the same spot 100 times is a key ingredient. The fact that you weren't making huge, you didn't start at one place of the wall and then went way over here. And you just kept chipping away, and
a couple degrees different.
And that to me is how you build a successful, profitable online business. It's through that test and try, and it's through the tiny tweaks, and it's through the measuring, which again is what you emphasized here, because I think that when you do that, when you're able to do that, then you're getting the feedback that tells you, is it working? Is it not working? What can I change? You go and change it. Is it working? Is it not working? What can I change? And it might take you 6 days. It might take you 60 days. It might take you 600 days. But the reality is it works when it works. So I love that.
And I needed that traffic for the feedback. If without the traffic, I wasn't getting the feedback, right?
Yeah. And initially you were your best feedback. Did it work on me? Was I interested in it? And I think that's a beautiful thing, is that, one of the things that I make all of my guys do is send themselves their email flow out of their funnels, right? I make them send it to a false email address that they create, so that they experience it before a client.
I love that.
Because when you're able to read it as though you didn't write it, it does have a different concept and a different meaning. And then you can go, well, does it fit into the puzzle? Is it making sense? Is there a flow that brings somebody on the journey for either a call or, like you say, a sales page? And I tend to agree, anything over 3K deserves a conversation. For
both of us, you don't want to bring people into your program that it's not a fit, and for them too, it's awful to work with a client that's not a good fit.
And you know that by having an open conversation with them. So totally agree. I mean, in the early days, I think most of us make that mistake and end up with clients that weren't exactly a good fit to begin with. So you sort of learn a thing or two. I'm really loving this gold here, because I think, really you, to me, epitomize how to build a business successfully, because of the way you've approached it and the method that you have used. It's just, it's glorious. I love it. I know that you've got a really cool gift for everybody. Guys, as always, all of Malorie's information is below, so feel free to connect with her, as well as her special free gift for you all today. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So you guys are going to get a free guide, which kind of sums it up in a 30,000-foot view, because I know it's kind of hard to understand without seeing it, at least for me, because I'm a visual person. So I've compressed that down into a guide for you guys to go through, so you can work on implementing that on your own.
Yay. So grab that below, everybody. Now, Malorie, here's a juicy question for you. If you were to leave our viewers with something that they could go off and do in the next 24 to 48 hours that would help them and move them and their business forward, what would that be?
Yes. See if you can turn your one-on-one offer into a high-ticket group program. I challenge you. I don't know if you've taught them this, but this is like the first place I go, because if you can figure out how to take what you do into a group container, which means like break it down into milestones. That's how I do my weeks. Like if I'm going to make something 8 weeks, like, okay, what are the 8 milestones they need to get this particular result? Week 1, milestone 1, week 2, milestone 2. Guys, do that. Create your high ticket offer. You can go do that right now. Because you already know what you take your clients through, or you would take your clients through if you had them. So you can turn that into a leverageable group program, and you do not have to sell one-on-one first. You really don't. I'll say that. Controversial, whatever. But like,
It's not
You don't. You can help
controversial.
a couple people at one time. It's fine. Like,
Definitely. Well, in my
so
circles, it's definitely not controversial. Group over
yeah,
one-to-one for scalability any day of the week.
yeah.
Yeah, so not controversial. Keep it coming because I think that, you know, people love to hear that. And at the end of the day, if you do want to create a multi-business, then you have to, your time is finite. Hence, groups is the
Mhm.
power of using your time and bringing more cash in the door.
Yeah.
But I also do not discredit one-to-one. One-to-one is a big component of my business because I think there are a lot of people who are like me who needed the one-to-one to get them up to the next level of themselves so that they could then go into a
Mhm.
group and participate fully.
Yeah.
So I think there's room and there's a place for everything. And it goes back to what you said right at the very beginning, which is find what you like, find your expertise, find how you like to show up and be in the world, and then go all in, get it working, learn to earn to return. That's what I always say. Any final thoughts for everybody today?
I think it's just about, putting one foot in front of the other and doing the next thing. Literally just go create your high ticket offer. That's it. Don't even worry about ads right now. Go create your high ticket offer, then go download my thing after you do that.
Grab that thing. Good thing. I like it. Grab it.
Like, really, you just go.
Yeah.
You already have it on the inside, right? Like, that's it. Go create your offer. And like the rest is just like semantics, technical stuff,
The rest is testing, right? The rest is,
Yeah.
and you know, guys, honestly, take I have never used the hitting the wall because for me, the hitting the wall was the definition of insanity. But I love how you positioned that. You can tell I'm visual too. That's really, really inspired me also, and I'll probably be borrowing that because that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Well, how about
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. Well, you're not doing the same thing over and over again. You're doing it with a couple degree difference. So it's not insanity. It's
No.
smart.
Yes, very, very smart. But my point being is for me in the past, when I think about hitting a brick wall, it's like, you're hitting the same spot, which is why I loved how you sort of
Yeah.
head to say, no, I went around the spot. It was beautiful. And then
That's so
immediately the
cool.
wall breaks down and you have your breakthrough. And before you know it,
Yeah.
you too are profitable and successful. That's why I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Make sure to connect with Malorie. Also grab her freebie. And thank you again for joining me. I hope to see you in the next one. And I hope you got a lot of value from this one. And I can't wait to hear what you made of it. Thanks, Malorie.
Thanks so much. Bye.